Good morning, everybody. Welcome to No Bull with Bryan. It's Thursday at 8 a.m. A wet and rainy day here in the southeast. Hopefully, the weather is cooperating with you wherever you're watching from today. I am glad that you all could join today. I'm excited for today because we are going to do things a little bit different on No Bull with Bryan today. We aren't having a guest, and the reason for that is we are dedicating it to you this morning. I have gathered some questions that people have been asking me over the last week, days, months, just a few, just to chat a little bit about it. But I would love for you to throw your questions in the comments today. I'll try to get to as many as I can. And if you don't have anything, great. Then we're all going to go start our workday a little bit earlier today. So I am really looking forward to this. Like I said, again, ask your questions, like, share, get your questions answers today. But again, we are dedicating to No Bull with Bryan today, strictly to you and what questions you have today. Hey, Keith, how you doing? Well, thanks for joining on. Good to see you, my man. So I want to start off today. First question that came up that someone asked me, are saving and investing the same thing? My answer to that is really no, they're not. And now let me preface this with saying it is extremely important to have your emergency fund, to have that unexpected cash sitting somewhere in savings, which would be like a savings account or a money market account. But investing is actually using your money to make money or to grow or create more money. So a very simple concept to understand is saving and investing aren't the same. Saving is what you do just for that rainy day, just in case. It's money that is actually in a year from now, it's not going to be worth as much due to inflation. You know, you think of the milk effect. The price of milk goes up every year. If your money is not growing at the same pace, it's not worth as much tomorrow that it would be today. So again, investing is actually creating wealth with the money that you have. Quick example I like to use in this with a lot of people is, let's take $550 a month. If you were getting 7% on that, that turns into 990,000, so a shade under $1 million in 35 years. Take that same 550 and you only get 3%, that's only 405,000 after 35 years. So again, a huge difference when you look at what typical investing looks like versus what typical savings looks like. So great question that was asked. Hey, David, how's it going today? Just thanks for joining us. Like I said, we are today talking about what questions do you have. It's all about you and the questions that you want to have answered here today. I have gathered some from my emails and different comments that have been thrown out there, and just wanted to hit on some of the ones that I get all too often. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys got for me today. Other question that comes up a lot, buying and selling often. This is one of those things that I hear a lot of. The way to make all your money is to be a buyer and seller. This strategy is right for some, but it is extremely volatile and risky. And a lot of people find that they can't handle that volatility that comes with that. So there is the strategy of just buying quality investments and weathering all the storms and investing properly and coming out in the end result of having a significant sum of money in your accounts without having to try to pick what the hot stock is or buy and sell. There's so many advertisements and commercials out there selling you products. And typically what happens is you get into that and then the emotion takes hold of you. You see some extreme drops or extreme highs. You get excited. And it's almost like going to Vegas sometimes, that you could definitely see your account value move extremely rapidly. And a lot of people just aren't built for that emotional roller coaster that they're about to go on. So great question again. One I get a lot. Like I said, there are definitely people that I know that are buyer and sellers, but there is also always the age-old strategy of quality investments to weather everything that goes on. Another question I get a lot, I'm too old to invest. I missed the boat on this. I can't do anything about my future, and I'm just too old to invest. That is entirely wrong. You're never too old to invest. I have people that invest starting in their 50s. It's great to start early. It's definitely an advantage if you're starting early, but it is never too late to start investing. Their 401ks at work offer catch-up contributions, so you can actually invest usually a lot more than the typical person in your retirement plan. And the goal is then you just get to a point where you need to make your money last. So there are strategies you can use even if you're starting late, just to make sure you can comfortably go into the sunset and retire and enjoy life some without having to worry of where that money's coming from. So again, you are never too old to start investing. And again, I highly encourage, whatever your age is, if you're thinking about investing, talk to somebody that's a specialist at it, and they would love to talk to you and help you out. So again, another great question. Keep them coming. I've got a few more that I pulled from my comments, but like I said, throw them in the comment section here, like, share, love, whatever you want to do. I look forward to it, but those are a few of the questions I've had so far. Another one I get a lot, and this one is fairly recent, is how the pandemic impact the future of the market. Again, I wish I had a crystal ball. If I had that crystal ball like we all did, I would have my own island and I would always pick the right thing and know what's going on. But I don't. So I can only preface what I'm going to say with, it's just an educated guess, as we all do, of looking at what the market looks like, what we would expect, how it's reacted in the past. And the pandemic really has just created a lot of volatility. We've all seen it. Ups and downs. Even this last week has just been really crazy in the market. And that is due to just a lot of uncertainty with what's going on. But I do want to talk about typical stages and how a market works that we all typically see in these type of situations, not a pandemic, but when there's something that kind of rattles the market. First, we typically see a severe recession, which you could argue that we've seen that already. That's a large drop in the market. We won't get into percentages, but think of it as a large drop. And then there's typically a steep rebound, which we've actually seen that as well. And then after that, you typically see a slow recovery with ups and downs on the way. So if you look back to a lot of the recessions that we had or the drops in the market, you'll see kind of a slingshot effect where it rebounds right after, and then it slowly ticks up after that. So again, that's what we would hope to expect with this, and we've seen some of those signs already. But the path of where the market goes is really determined by the path of the recovery from COVID-19 and where we are at in treatment, cases. So with increasing cases or things being shut down again, that's going to affect the market negatively. When we see the market, rise, it's usually due to things feeling more comfortable with opening up. The market, reacts in that sense. So there's definitely going to be some choppy waters ahead, and it's really dictated by the path of the recovery with COVID. So, and typically when you look right now, a lot of the experts on the science side are thinking somewhere in 2021. Again, beginning, middle, end, hard to tell, but that looks like that's where we would really see people get back to a more normalcy in life, and that's our hope. But again, we don't know, and that leaves 2020 a little volatile and a little unpredictable. So be ready for the ups and downs of the market. Again, have a plan, have a strategy, know what that means. That's the best advice I could give you on going through these times is don't panic if you have a strategy. Just go with quality investments and know that typically we'll see a slow recovery once we get through this. On the same lines, the other question that I get are the trends I'm seeing in the market. This is a tricky one at times. Yeah, Keith, definitely a roller coaster for a while. Don't look at them too often. You can look at them, but don't look at them too often. But trends I am seeing in the market, or that we are seeing in the market, is really something. The election comes up a lot, so I think that's a question that comes up with this a lot. And if you look back at the market and individuals, consumer confidence or how they think the economy or market is going to do is tied typically to their political affiliation. Democrats, if a Democrat is going to be in office, tend to think the market is going to do better. Republicans, if there's going to be a Republican in office or they predict that, tend to think the market is going to be better in that case. So what does that tell me? The emotion of people is tied to what they think the market's going to do. Historically, look, it's done well with both parties in power, regardless of that, because you have to understand our economy is determined by our spending. It's about 2/3 of our economy is our spending. So if we are spending money and feeling good about spending money, regardless of who's in office, that is what really is a huge driver for our economy. So again, we go back to COVID. When people can get out and spend more money and businesses can open up again, That is extremely important for our economy, which is great for the market. Another thing that I liked is the federal stimulus, which actually seems to be leading to a quicker recovery for us, which is a great thing. But putting all those dollars into the economy on the early end of it was something unprecedented and never done before. We hope to see another one. As we know, it's tied up in Congress at the moment, but that was a great actually way to help us in recovery and kind of get us that springboard again. And then again, economy rebounding, trends I'm seeing in the market. I think that it's going to be second half of next year is when we really see it get back to normal. I just think there's going to be a lot of knee-jerk reactions in the market. What that means is, again, volatility, ups and downs. The news a lot of times will dictate what people do or what they hear. So keep that in mind that today's down might be tomorrow's up or vice versa. But you've got to be prepared for that because I just think that's around to stay for a little while, unfortunately. So get your Pepto-Bismol, Mylanta out, take a little swig. And as Keith said, don't look at it every minute. That's not how you make the money in the market. So again, another great question. Keep them coming, guys. Love it. Throw them in the comments with what you got. Even if you're not watching this live, still throw it in the comments. I could definitely get to you on it and answer your question as well as cover it on a future show. Would love to hear your questions, comments. Again, keep liking, keep loving. That's great, guys. So the other question, and I just want to wrap it up today unless we have some other questions that come through today, is why would I need a financial advisor? And this is one that I get all the time because I'm a financial advisor. And I tend to say there are many things when it comes to investing that you may know about, you may not know about, but again, it doesn't hurt to get that second opinion. If you're running a business, you want the best people running your business. It doesn't mean you have to do everything. It just means you have to manage them and put your trust and faith in them to help you out. So I really kind of wanted to show you when you are looking at your whole financial picture, here is just something to consider when you're doing it. These are all the components. I've kind of broken it down into different areas where you need to make sure you have plans. And you may be in different bubbles or boxes at different times, or you may be working on some and forgetting about others. But again, this is the complete financial picture that an advisor can show you where those weaknesses or strengths are. And it's not to say that you're doing any of them bad. It's just to say, here's some advice or tips on how you can get a little bit better. So again, we've got organizing, very critical to your plan. You've got to have your goals. You've got to have your planning. You've got to have your spending, and you've got to have your saving, which would be your budget. So again, just getting organized with your finances is huge. The first step to anything that you do is just organizing everything. An advisor can help you with that. If you don't know how to create a budget, or you're not sure what your goals are and you want them to help you kind of flush that out, or what your planning strategies would be, they are available for you. Building. That would be your portfolio building and tracking. Everybody has their own attitudes and ideas on how they want to build a portfolio. Typically, that's dictated by their aggressiveness, what they like, what they don't like, and it can be built differently for every person, even though different people may have the same goals in mind, based on really just what they are looking to do, and then how they're tracking it. Again, protecting, extremely important. Once you build wealth or you start getting money, you want to protect it, obviously, from the government. You don't want them to take taxes from you. And you want to make sure your family's taken care of, or that special cause or organization that you love, you want to make sure that you can leave something to them. So again, once you start to accumulate wealth, protecting it is just as important. And it's making sure you deal with that or kind of get that on your plate as well. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that piece of it, but it's extremely important regardless of where you're at in the process. And again, like I said, with protecting is transferring, is just making sure we understand how we're planning beyond ourselves, doing something great for the world, the community, your family, whatever that is, making sure you have a process or the tools and documents in place to be able to do that. Again, extremely important. So that really is just a quick breakdown on why it's important just to have somebody that you could talk to. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a financial advisor, but somebody that is well-versed in money and those topics that could help you out or give you some opinions or advice on things. So that is really all I want to do today. Like I said, we had a short one today. It's rainy. It's getting cold here. So I'm sure, everybody wants to snuggle back up in bed, maybe grab the coffee and just relax a little bit. And it doesn't look like there's any other questions that anybody wanted to cover today. Like I said, throw some more in the comments. I'll get to them after, we go live, or maybe on a future show. We'll definitely make them one of our topics. Love to hear from you. Reach out to me if you need anything. You guys have a great day, and I appreciate all that you do.